What do you think is a criticism about you that's fair?
Oh man, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Where do we start?
Yeah, where do you start? Okay, the fair criticism is, I mean, there's some unfair, but the fair would be that I would appear to be disconnected, maybe from, because of what I've achieved. Showing the plane can appear to be arrogant to some people. Arrogancy, overconfident. What do they say about me? Trump supporter. Get a lot of hate for the Trump support. Some of this stuff about the offerings on the investments, that's completely unfair, because what we've done for 20,000 investors is unbelievable. To provide people with access to institutional quality assets the way we have at scale.
But you would say the arrogance. So you say
dude,
people claim.
When I watch my own stuff, I'm like, dude, you look so arrogant when you present stuff. And that I'm not thoughtful enough about how people receive something.
How much of that, though, is just played up for the camera?
No, it's not. I don't play up. There's not a play up. There's not, okay, I'm going to do this because this is going to trigger people.
So when you said that someone making $400,000 a year is broke,
that was done. It's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not contrived. I had no clue that would happen.
You just said it.
By the way, that was videoed in front of an insurance company. There was 120 people in the room, very large insurance company, and they hired me to come speak to their people. I said, hey, I asked the CEO, what do you want me to, what would you like me to do? He's like, look, I got a couple guys making $10 million a year and everybody else here is making $400,000. He's like, I need you to freaking amp these guys up to make $10 million each. I said, okay, I got it. So my opening line was, look, if you're in this room, okay, this was pre-internet. The video had been, that video was probably 4 or 5 years old when it was found. And then put on one of the social platforms.
Yeah.
I don't even think the social platforms existed when I did that event. That's how old it was. Could be 7 years old. And he said, I need you to get the $400,000 guys off their ass to earn more money. I said, well, what's the most money you can earn? He's like, I got guys making $10 million a year in this room. So my opening line was, if you're in this room and you're sitting with people making $10 million and you all have the same opportunity, and you're making $400,000, I don't even know how you go home and feel good about yourself. That was the line. Okay.
Do you believe that though? Or was this just like, hey, this is the requirement of speaking. You got to amp these people up, and you're like, okay, well, what's the most effective?
I had one guy paying me. I think they paid me $150,000 to go in there and spend 1 hour jacking these guys up. That video was not made for mankind. That video was made for 125 guys that work at an insurance company that have the ability to make $10 million selling a product. And if you're in a room, if there's 4 of us in a room and there's a guy in the room and we're all doing the same thing and you're making $1 billion and I'm not, I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Okay, well, that there's a lot to decode from that.
Yeah, let's decode it.
I would like to, yeah.
Because you're saying, what's wrong with me if I'm not making $1 billion? That's basically saying that like highest moral value, highest value of life is suggesting that increasing your income to its maximum capacity is like the best utilization of a life.
In this case, I was not asked to catch fish. I was asked to amp a room up about making money.
So I understand
why selling more insurance, by the way. By the way, the guy that sells, if you believe in the product, okay, I was doing this company and the people a service if the insurance product is good. When they're not selling drugs, they're providing people with insurance, which people might not have, or they're underinsured. And I'm going in there saying, if you have the ability to make an extra phone call, it's not really about the money. The guy didn't ask me, talk to them about selling more insurance. He said, talk to them about making more money.
Did you end up making them more money?
Well,
like, does that,
if I would have mentioned the insurance company's name, I certainly would have, because
for the salespeople,
the salespeople, 100%.
They made more money when 100%. They felt that 400,000 was broke.
It woke people up, even if it was just temporarily. If you get in a car wreck, you're going to become more conscious of how you drive and how other people drive after the car wreck. So I'm punching them in the face to say, hey, wake up. There's an opportunity here.
Why do you think some people were complacent with 400,000 while other people felt like they need to push to 10?
Well, because at that time,
what's the difference between those two people?
This is 7 or 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when you could actually live on $400,000. Fast forward to 2026, and I'm probably closer to right than wrong. Okay, because I've been talking about this inflation thing for many, many years. Hey, you don't make enough money. I've been talking about $1 million with no money. The middle class was changing. These numbers are all basically inherited ideas from earlier generations where, 100 grand's a lot of money, 400 grand's a lot of money, $1 million a lot of money. Your generation's being told right now that you're being priced out. You're not priced out. You just don't work hard enough. Now, not in your case, but a majority of the population is tapping out right now, believing in that case, 7 or 8 years ago, you could live on 400 grand, when the truth is, if you live in the state of California, 400 grand is really 260. And after the cost of living, electricity, taxes, insurance, et cetera, you're probably down to 100,000. And 100 grand today in this country, in almost any place except maybe, rural Midwest, it's not a lot of money.
So if someone has the ability to make a lot of money, but they're not doing it, what do you think is holding them back?
Well, these conversations, like you're like, the moral compass, it's not about money. I'm like, dude, if you have a wife and 2 kids or 3 kids, 2 parents that are aging, and any other responsibilities in the community that you consider yourself responsible for some participation in the game, you need to make more money,
I agree with that. I mean, I think that there is obviously like some sort of diminishing return at some point, though. Mm-hmm. What I was saying was like the difference between making $100 million
where's
here.
The diminishing return?
It depends on what your roles and responsibilities, what your duties are. And so if you're a man trying to provide for his family, it's like, okay, well, there is obviously in California, probably it's going to be a couple $100,000 if you're the only person working. And then if it's, you have many kids and your kids have like physical needs and stuff, okay, then you keep bringing it up. But I don't think that like the difference between making $2 million, granted this is coming from a person who doesn't make $2 million. So take it with a grain of salt. Difference between $2 million and $10 million in terms of what you can provide for your family will not make them better people.
Yeah. I didn't say, there's no clip of me saying people that make more money are better people.
Well, like raise your children in a more efficient way.
Well, you can do that on $2 million. You can probably do that on, 200 grand. You can, the amount of money, raising your kids efficiently, you can give a guy $1 billion. It doesn't mean he's going to raise his kids well. I'm doing a great job of raising my kids. I know that. Nobody can take that away from me. But the money has nothing to do with it. Does it allow me to spend more time with them? Yeah, 100%.
There was a comment.
But it was cheaper for me to take my kids out of school than keep them in the schools. So anybody that thinks they can't homeschool because you're not taking responsibility. This is the real issue here around money is roles and responsibility. Mm-hmm. And most people think they're only responsible for themselves and not even their wife anymore. Okay? It's like, I got to have 2 people work. No, you don't. You need to work. She should stay home and raise the kids. But you need to make more money. So that's just my belief. Like fucking work.
So if your wife was better at making money than you, do you think it would be most efficient or productive for you to be a stay-at-home dad? A really scary truth is just how vulnerable your digital life is, and most people have no idea until it's too late, and then they're stuck spending several hours trying to solve a problem that they did not create. So don't be like my roommate Kevin, because I kid you not, his identity got stolen 2 years ago, and guess who's still paying for it? Me. Because the one thing he still can't recover is his Venmo.
See, the trouble with identity theft and fraud is that it doesn't happen all at once. And by the time you notice, usually the damage is done.
And that's exactly where our sponsor, OmniWatch, comes in. It catches problems early by keeping an eye on your identity, credit, financial accounts, and online activity altogether. And the best part is that setting it up only takes a few minutes, and then from there, it works quietly in the background all day, every day.
OmniWatch monitors your credit activity, data breaches, and the dark web using AI-powered detection tools that are able to spot suspicious activity in real time. If it finds something unusual, you get an alert that tells you exactly what happened and the next steps to take.
You can lock your credit, secure all of your accounts, and fight fraud with just one click. If identity theft does occur, OmniWatch connects you with US-based specialists to restore your identity and handle the damage with up to $2 million in identity theft insurance.
So head on over to omniwatch.com/iced to get 50% off of your first month and see for yourself if your information's actually financially secure.
Seriously, guys, the peace of mind is worth it. Protect your credit, identity, and online data today. Again, that is 50% off your first month at omniwatch.com/iced. If your wife was better at making money than you, do you think it would be most efficient or productive for you to be a stay-at-home dad and she be a go out and work?
Yeah, never even considered it.
But if she was more efficient at making money, so if she was better,
I can't even think with it. I'm sorry. I just
is there a world in which a woman can be better at making money than a guy? And like, if they're in a relationship, should she be the one going out?
I just can't have babies. I can't have babies, so I don't know how to do that. So. And maybe it's just traditional, just look, that ain't going to happen. My wife used to ask me, what if I made more money than you? I said, fucking never going to happen.
You said that?
You're never going to make more money than me.
What was her response to that?
She's like, but what if I did? Would it bother you? I said, no, it won't bother me. Make more money. If you want to make more money, go get a deal, get somebody to give you a bunch of money. But like, you're never going to make more money than me because I am always going to.
So you're flexing on your wife.
No, I'm always going to amp it up. I'm going to figure out another way to earn more money because I know there's endless amounts of money. Since the last time I was on this show, okay, the U.S. government has printed 25%, maybe 30% more currency is in play today than was the last time I was on this show. That means I should have gotten a pay raise. You should have a pay raise. You should have a pay raise. Everybody watching this right now should be making more money, but most people can't say they're making more money because they're not. Why? Why aren't they earning more money? Why aren't they getting more money if more money was produced? I'm not even talking about spending right now. Mm-hmm. If more money was produced, your earnings should have automatically gone up, period.
What's the minimum amount that you need to make to not be broke?
I don't know. I mean, I'm broke. No matter how much money I make, I'm broke anyway. So you got to tell me what broke means.
What would you consider to be broke?
Well, I don't have any money with me right now, so I'm broke. Right now,
so
today.
Like
I'm broke
pocket.
To get back to, if you didn't get me a ride back to
you would have a credit card or
I don't have anything on me. I'm broke right now.
You don't have like an Uber app on your phone?
I do have an Uber app.
Okay. So you could figure out a way to.
Yeah, but if I was broke and my Uber app doesn't work anymore, then I'm broke. Now, how do I get back? That is the way people really should. This is the calculation people should understand. This is what I did on Undercover Billionaire. I didn't have any money. I had $100. I took the $100 and gave it to the bank. Discovery Channel was upset because they're like, you need money. I said, no, I don't need money. I need people. I need my ability to contact people and ask somebody to give me a lift. I'd go out there right now and I'd do this. And I'd get a lift. I'd get a lift back to the hotel. Right. And then I got a room tonight. How did I, So, that's the hustle. The hustle is other people. I need to get in front of people. That's why the roofer and the HVAC guy and the plumber and the electrician are going to kill AI. They're going to overperform. They're going to make the plumber tomorrow is going to make more money than the doctor tomorrow if they know how to hustle. Now, if they don't, they're just going to get inflated on. And they're going to tell, okay, the wife's got to go work now, and the kids have to go to shitty schools, and everything's going to get more expensive on you, and you're just a spectator in the game.
One thing that was really interesting that you mentioned on our last podcast, though, is that if you have $1 million, you're as close to broke as possible. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like a lot of people disagree with that sentiment because I would say there are many dollars, maybe even $1 million different dollars that are closer to broke than $1 million. And so what do you mean by $1 million being as close to broke as possible?
How old are you?
27.
Okay. So if you don't have new income, okay, and you're going to live to your 87 and you have no new income, you guys break up, there's no sponsors, there's no income, nothing, dude. Like what? Well, you're just, whatever. You cannot earn income. You have no government check. So you have 60 years and $1 million. I don't know what the math is on that.
Well, you could, let's say I put it in stocks and I'm taking a 3% withdrawal rate. So I have $30K a year, basically.
Yeah, $30,000 a year, give or take.
Okay. You live on $30,000 a year.
It would be uncomfortable.
$2,500 a month. Yeah. You can't, bro. Not even in this town. Your rent's $2,500. Your rent's $2,000. How do you live? You got a mom and a dad? Mm-hmm. How do you feel about yourself now? You find out your dad has a dementia, and it's going to take him $16,000 because your mom can't take care of him. Now you got to take care of the mom and the dad. Now how do you feel? What happened to your roles and responsibility? You were thinking about yourself. This is the problem right here. It's not a money problem. It's a roles and responsibility problem. I'm not responsible just for myself. If I'm a capable, able, intelligent, I can work, I'm healthy, if that's my abilities, and I don't extend my roles and responsibility, not just my wife, my kids, my employees, my community, my neighborhood, even to my government, then I have a diminishing roles and responsibilities. Okay, and if you have no roles and responsibilities, then you don't need a lot of money. But if God gave you a bunch of responsibilities and roles, and then you need money. Mother Teresa needed money, so she didn't have any of her own money. So what did she do? You don't need your own money. You need to be connected to people that have money in that case.